Hello, 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 and welcome everyone. My name is Julia Okujax of Julia Jax Consulting, and this is Unplugged. Unplugged is a weekly podcast for growing businesses which are focused on building bold, excellent brands. Not just bold and excellent, but brands that are increasingly profitable. Underline that increasingly profitable, So that is our focus in Julia Jax Consulting. And we've spent all of November talking about something that we simply can't stop talking about. That is you and the digital universe. So much is happening and so much is changing day after day. And it seems it's hard to play catch up. But this is the age of tech. This is the technology revolution. And we must play catch up. We must know not just a little bit, but a whole lot about technology, how to deploy it, how to understand it for our personal benefits and for the benefits of our business. So here we are talking about you, me, and technology. Before I introduce our guest for today, I want to thank our other September guests who have been absolutely incredible. Udoro is saying of Bobby and Cracker, the website genius, the design genius, and you can find him on YouTube, giving you free tutorials, and he's really great. James Ogunjimi of Ndiyo Media, who taught us about the magic of deploying technology for marketing communications, and also taught us about the magic of hashtags and more. There was also Edima Iwang of David of Gold, who explains the possibilities of artificial intelligence and assured us that 5G is not from the pit of hell. And he also explained the importance of automating routine tasks. I guess very soon we'll be automating more than routine tasks because what we're looking for is more efficiency, working smarter, you know. And last week, wow, how could we forget Emily Wale Koya, the new media specialist and brand strategist? Emily told us to infect our customers with our brilliance and position ourselves as the Google, that is the go to in our respective businesses. So, in all, it's really been an exciting ride in September. Today, we round up with a visionary communications professional, Adesewa Greg Ighodaro. Adesewa is the founder and chief executive of Pine Empress Creative Concepts. She's much more and she's going to tell us about it. Welcome, Adesewa.
Thank you so much, Ma. Good morning.
It's good to have you.
Same here, Ma.
Good morning.
Same here, Ma. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Thank you.
much
Let
for
me
having
let
me.
me get you on. Okay, have you asked to join? Okay, let me see.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay. I've accepted. Let's see how that
Yes.
works. Meanwhile, hi to
Yay.
everybody on Instagram. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Hello to everybody on Instagram. Hi, Yasin. Hi, everybody on Facebook. Good to have you today. Hi, Onye. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Hi, Peace. Yasin. Hi, Ebele. And it says and one other, but hi. Hi, Coach Josie. Yeah. Mama Adeshawa is here today. Adeshawa, you call me Mama. You have Mama. So I must be somebody's
Who is
grandmama
Mama?
somewhere out
No mind all these my madams that are always calling me Mama. They are my madams, though.
there. Wow. So we had really very interesting conversations throughout, and I'm sure from the you heard my thank you to our guests so far. So we've covered
Yes.
quite a lot. We've covered quite a lot, and what we want to really focus on today is how to
Mm,
transform these digital products into knowledge and money.
mm.
Because I mean, the lifeblood of any business is money. apart from the values. I know we can't be chasing money, but money and then our values. So
Mhm.
let's start off with the question I like to ask people is why? Why are you interested in this particular line of work?
Mm. Um, so my husband usually says that I act like I don't want to take the credit, but I don't actually take the credit for it. So we have Pine Empress Creative Concepts Limited, that is a full service marketing and communications firm and a publishing firm as well. And I'm a Christian, so first of all, I'm a Christian, and I'm going to say it as it is. I'm not going to try to cover anything. So that year, I had noticed a particular trend in the business. And, I went to prayer and I started to ask God, okay, so what singles us out as a full service marketing and comms company? Because I'm like, I mean, there's so many marketing and comms companies. And so what really, really, really singles us out? And the Lord said, go teach my church how to use the digital space for ministry. And really, that's how I got into it. So it's not really like, oh, I had this passion 120 years ago, or this is something that I've always wanted to do. I've actually been very passionate about media. I read mass communication. I cringe, when I see maybe where somewhere they're projecting something, their errors. I just, so it's just there like that. But with what I have seen now, I see that even though yes, 100% it was an instruction from God, the digital space is a space that we cannot run from. It's a space that we cannot, I was in a meeting yesterday and the person was like, when everybody was coming on digital space, I was like, oh no, I can't do it because I don't like the bandwagon mentality, and so I'm not going to do it. And now the person has created a product and he's saying, I want to do an e-launch and a physical launch. And I'm like, do you have leverage? And he says, let me just tell you the truth, I don't like digital space. I'm like, if you didn't like digital space, there's nothing I can do for you. So we had to, re-strategize to help him to come to that space to achieve what he wanted to achieve with the e-space. And so basically I'm here because, I mean, it's the future. There's no there's no going back. And before somebody says, oh, it's the future, I know my heart, my chest, it's in levels. It's in levels. It's in levels. It's not something that should, it's not a burden and should not be a burden. And I'm
Mm,
sure that's part of our conversation today. So yes, thank you so much, man.
yes, yes. I really like the way you said it. It's in levels and it should not be a burden. It should not be
Hmm.
something that would send us in the tailspin and we get stressed about
Absolutely.
things. It really shouldn't be
Absolutely.
that. Yeah, I think one thing we fail to do is I don't know if you agree because I'm a media person as well. We fail to realize that this digital space is a platform like is a platform that has platforms like radio, like TV, like
Yeah.
all those other platforms that we got used to for so many years. Now there's a
Right.
brand new platform,
Hmm.
right? And
Yes, ma'am.
it, it it's just that we don't know how to navigate it. We really
Hmm.
don't know how to navigate it, and we feel a bit inadequate.
Hmm.
I like to tell people. I always say it. I say, let me ask. I say I don't have any shame. If I don't know, I don't know. Let me ask. Tell me whatever silly question you have. I will ask. I will ask the silly question. Because if you don't ask, how will you know?
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
won't know. You won't know at all. And let me ask one silly question because that was my own silly question. We were talking before we started this podcast, and
Yes.
we talked about passwords and login details. I don't know if I'm the only one who has that issue. I mean, logging into Facebook for me is always an adventure. It's like, what was my password again? What's my password again? If you look in my diary, I have like password for this, password for that. I'll just try this one. You try how many times Facebook will just lock you out after a
Yes.
while. So how do how do we save our passwords and our login details in an easy way?
Okay. So basically it's two ways. have, if you use Chrome, for example, if you use Google, you can save your password. So when you, I think even these other internet browsers can also save passwords. So when you log, when you log in, put in your username and then you put in your password, it will ask you, do you want to save to this browser? If you're using your computer, I know that you're the only one who uses your computer. Nobody has access to your computer. It might be safe for you to save on the browser. However, it is also very good to have it in a document. And as you're updating, you're going to that document, because sometimes we have this thing, we have this password, and then we save it somewhere, and then we change it, because sometimes you have to change. You should actually change periodically, sometimes 3 months, sometimes 6 months, but it's good to change it, sometimes even annually, but it's very good to change it. Or for those who have digital assistants, for example, whoever was using whoever was your virtual assistant on a particular handle or on a particular platform, once you relieve that person of their job, or that person says, oh, I have something else to do somewhere, you need to actually change it, because it's not that you don't trust them, but it's good to be safe. It's very good to be safe. So save it in a document, and as you're updating on the website, update that document. That document is a living document, so it's important to update. So easiest way, save on your browser. But you know that there's phishing these days, there's hacking these days. So you want to really be sure that your security on your password is really high. Sorry, on your computer is really high. The other thing is to change, save it on in a document. Then Facebook, Google, Instagram, some of these platforms, you can also activate two-factor authentication. So it means that even if you save it on your system or your phone or whatever device you're using, even if you save it, if somebody tries to hack into your system, they will send you a code. So if you know that, oh, I'm not the one trying to log in, immediately you change your password, and don't just click links anyhow. Don't just, somebody, you see an email. I mean, they recently almost hacked our corporate church account just last week. Thank God that I had I had set up my two-factor authentication, and I just got this email that said, and this is something that we need to pay attention to. I got this email that said, and now when you setting audios on Instagram, Instagram can pull down that video, or send you an email and say for trademark infringements, yada yada. They would want to pull it down, and so because these emails have been in circulation, I got this email that said, oh, you used an audio. And that's the audio that I actually use for my podcast. That's the Amplify podcast. And I don't have any copyright issues on that audio. So I was wondering what happened. So I read the email, and it said, click this link if we made a mistake, click this link to report or appeal. And so I clicked the link, and I was filling the form. I was filling, and something just said, girl, scroll down this page. And I scrolled down the page, and I saw copyright, the copyright symbol. I saw the copyright symbol, and then I saw
Sybil, yeah.
Facebook. I'm like, no, something is wrong. Facebook is now Meta. It can't be Facebook, and it can't be 2021. This is 2022. Facebook cannot make that mistake. Now, I was doing all this on my phone. So I said, you know what? I need to go to my computer. So I go to my computer, I open the email, and then I check the sent from, where you can view who sent the email. And then I see Facebook at something 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 dot outlook.com. I said, no way.
Oh.
No way. So immediately, because I had clicked the link, I immediately changed all our passwords, changed everything, removed our contact from the place where it's visible and all of that. So even when you save your passwords and all that, you have to be very careful and very alert when you get emails like that, because these days guys are not smiling. So yeah.
They're not smiling.
They are not smiling. No, they are not smiling. We said they should look for
No,
work
no,
now, so
no.
they are looking for work and they are seeing the work. So
They're looking
guys are
for
not
work.
smiling.
They're looking
We
for
have to
work.
be very alert. And the 2 times or the 3 times this thing has happened, it happened at night. So they do it at a time that you are relaxed, and in the day you are very alert. When you see stuff, you're like, okay, no, 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 this shouldn't be. But at night, where you're relaxed and you're like, and then you just jump up and you're not trying to check any all of these things that I just mentioned. Check where it came from, check the email, the email they used to send it. Even when you are seeing the Facebook logo, in Jesus' name I pray, check the email they sent it from.
You're right.
because
You're
sometimes
right.
because sometimes
You're right.
you see the Facebook logo, then you see something like advert like the email name, and they'll say advert from Facebook, or advert team at Facebook, or sponsorship team at Facebook. It's a big line, please. So it's important for us to be alert at all times. Once you get those emails, I mean, the deal is even not to be in a hurry to respond. Don't be in a hurry. Don't be in too much of a hurry to respond. Make sure that you do due diligence to really check it. And if you're somebody who doesn't really know
Yeah.
how to engage the digital space, you want to quickly reach out to somebody and say, please help me check this thing. Don't click links anyhow, please. These things are very, very important these days.
So we really have to be hyper alert concerning digital
Yes.
security. Hyper
Yes,
alert.
please.
Yes, yes.
Yes,
I
please.
I want to say hi. Hi, Emily. Emily was our guest last week. Hi, Emily, and
Yes, I
hi,
saw when you
Omori.
called her name.
Yes,
Hello, Emily.
yes,
Welcome.
yes. And Nkechi's birthday is today. Nkechi is my baby sister. Nkechi, happy
Oh,
birthday. Happy birthday to
happy
you.
birthday.
Yeah. Yes. Forgive me for putting a throwback picture on. I just put on throwback when I still had hair. She still has hair. Yeah. But I
Oh.
couldn't resist it. Hi Lavenders. Hi
Abina.
everybody. Hi Maya Ghana. Yes. Hi everyone. So we have questions. We have a lot of good questions for you. So
Hmm.
how do you transform digital? What are digital products first before we transform them into knowledge and money? What are digital
Okay, so
products?
digital products are products that you create that you cannot touch. You can't touch. People can't touch it. They are not tangible. Their value is tangible, their transformation is tangible, the benefits for the people who engage them is tangible, but the product itself, the service you're delivering, the thing that you are creating, I like to call it the creator's work. So whatever it is you're creating is not tangible, but is valuable. And they're one of the most difficult products to sell, because I mean, if I want to buy Indomie, if I see one that has another name, I know what I'm looking for. I know the colors, you know. And with the digital space, there's so many products. There's so many, and they're called knowledge products. You know, there's so many products that are being created, and I mean, a lot of people are even running away from it because they probably bought some and it didn't do anything. And by the time you're saying, no, get another one, they are warning. So it's one of like the hardest products to sell, but they're the most powerful actually.
Hmm. Now, I have a question concerning that, and I may be the only one. Maybe I don't know. Um, I I paid for a digital product sometime this year. I thought it would be useful to me. Okay,
Hmm.
I thought it'd be useful to
No,
me.
I'm here.
You can hear me. You can hear me still.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Power
Okay.
went
Great.
out, but we'll
Great.
be fine.
Okay. So yeah. Okay. And when it came, I paid. It was acknowledged. Then I didn't know how to get on because they didn't give an example of how to get. They didn't tell us do this and do that and do that. I sent an email to
Okay.
the person, but the person was busy, ostensibly either
Okay.
busy or just didn't get back to me because there must have been hundreds of people. It was those courses that would say, okay, 7,005, 10,000. Okay, but if you book early, you can get it for 5K. And being the cheapskate that
Yeah.
I am, I went for the 5K quickly,
No,
sharply.
well,
But till
that's
today, my
not
money
that's
is
not
still
even
is still
a
hooked up there.
wow. Wow. Um, First of all, and this is actually what I teach at corporate church. When you're pricing any product, people are paying for access. They are not just paying for. Can you hear me, ma? It's frozen here, but Instagram is going through. Okay, okay.
Yes, I
When
can.
when you put a product out there, okay, when you put a product out there, people pay for access. They pay for access or pay for support. No, yes, you've put the product there, you know it's there, but you must have a system whereby somebody says, "I'm unable to do something," and you help them to do it. If you don't have a document that says this is how to access, your email communications or correspondence should actually deliver how to access the course. Because in this digital age, for example, now you might feel like I'm saying so many things, but when you're creating a product, the first thing, in fact, when you're doing anything online, the first thing you want to identify
Mm.
are your audience. Who are your audience? Understanding who your audience is tantamount to how you deliver that product, what your communication is like. Because if you're selling to elderly people, you need to understand that elderly people do not, and that might not be the right language. That might not be the right language because we have baby boomers and all these technological terms that we use these days for all the age groups. But when you're selling to elderly people, or you have a feeling
We are
that
not
elderly people want
elderly.
to, can you hear me?
We are not elderly. We are just older than you. Yes, I said we are not elderly. We are just older than you.
Right. So if you're selling to elderly people, you need to understand that they don't know how to do some things digitally. And so you should have a document. You should have a document be clear. So we have this ministry marketing course that we sold. And one of the people who bought it now said, one of the people that said, um, I bought it. I want you to send me the document. I'm like, oh no, it's not a document. It's a video course and it's a self-paced course. And they're like, oh, they didn't realize and all that. You need to have that system in place or that support team in place. And support team can be you who is the creator. If you don't have to have a large, extensive team. The point is you need to create access for people to communicate with you. Because trust me, if you go and sell a digital product on a space like on a marketplace like Udemy, those people there, they are not smiling. So if they don't have access to your course, they'll put it in the review. Or Oyinbo people, they don't send you. If your product is not nice, they will put it in the review. And as Africans, as Nigerians, we need to value communication. We need to value how we ask, how we reach out to people. You think that as the creator, you're just creating product. Oh, you're gonna make money from the product. That's not what it really is. Because at the end of the day, if they buy your product and they are not transformed through your products, you've not done the job. In communication, they say until the message is understood, you've not communicated. So no matter how much somebody pays you, until you have really delivered, because sometimes you deliver, but whoever bought or purchased the course is the one not engaging. So it's not on you. But until you do your 100, you have not finished the process of creating a product. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do understand. And what I get from
Yes.
what you're saying
So
is
so
that even in the digital space, customer service is extremely critical. We must deliver end to
100.
end.
Yes, 100. Yes, 100. 100. And you don't have to be the one doing everything. If you're the only one, I mean, it means that you're not yet that big. So, I mean, 100% attend to your clients. Attend to your clients.
Very, very key. Very key. I want to refer to something that um, our guest last week said,
Mhm.
Emily. She said, this is not the age of serving, it's the age of selling. This is the age of serving,
Absolutely.
when it comes to digital products.
Absolutely.
So, but what is your take on that?
Um, Mindset shift. We need to start having mindset shift. So, like I was saying now that creators, and when I say creator, I mean everybody creating something, created a product, whether it's audiovisual, whether it's a PDF document, whether it's a book you're authoring, whether it's a service you're providing, because sometimes it's not even just or a physical product, a tangible product. We have moved from the age of people just buying things. People are now seeking results. The World Economic Forum in 2020, they did a research, and in their report, they said that the workspace, we have come into a time that even employees are going to start looking for work purposefully. So there's purpose, there's perspective. So they're now thinking, how does this actually impact on my long term? And so, as a creator, this is, yes, you are your boss, right? You're your boss, but you have an integrity. You have an integrity on the line, and really, you have people to save. What your product is actually doing is delivering good news to save people. That's what your product is doing. And so it's not really about, and this is even for people that say, oh, I don't know how to market. I'm not a marketer. Me too. I'm not a marketer. But see, the day I learned that selling is service, it changed it shifted everything for me, because what you're doing is actually, you're actually delivering a service to people for them to come into the fullness of who they are when they connect with you or connect with your product. And so really, you're not selling, because selling is give us the money. Yes, business, 100%. Business is profit. It's about profit. But profit is on two ends, on my own table. Profit is on ends. It's not just the money. It is the transformation I'm expecting to see. So if somebody drinks physical product, somebody you create, maybe you bake cookies for a living and you sell. If a home is not satisfied, I've not finished. There's something is wrong. And that's why businesses, even though they're making profit, they come time after time to do surveys. They come after time after time to even do promos, because it's their way of saying we appreciate you. Yes, sometimes the promo, maybe the product is not as much as it will be if it wasn't a promo. The point is they're actually trying to say we appreciate you, we see you, keep buying from us. They're trying to serve you. And so until we actually move from I want to sell to I want to serve, we will not even we might not, we will not be profiting as we should. And again, profiting is on two ends: money, yes, and mind. If the minds of people are not transformed by what they do, how they engage your product, your service, your delivery, then the profit cycle is not complete. So yes, I agree with Emily. We've moved from selling to
Fabulous.
serving.
Thank
I
you.
100%
To
100%
serving.
agree.
I like what you added to transformation. People must be transformed. That's the end goal.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have this question from Marion. I think you've answered it a bit, but could you just give an example or a couple of digital products?
Can I give an example? It's crackling. Can I give an example of what, ma?
Of digital products, of a digital product. Oh, okay. I think we lost you on Facebook. We, we lost you on Facebook. You'll have to come back in. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay.
Thank you. I don't know what happened there because I'm using the same internet for
Yeah.
the phone and the computer. I don't know what happened. Okay, so
It's
an
the digital
example
world.
of oh my god, an example of digital products. A digital product can be a course, an online course. A digital product can be a an ebook. A digital product can be um, I'm trying to see how I can break them down, because courses can be categorized into bundles. Digital products can be master classes, can be webinars, can be tickets to events, digital events. That's doing virtual events. That's a digital product. So basically, a product that happens with technology is a digital product. A product that you have to sell using airwaves. Oh, yes, using the airwaves is a digital product. That's what a digital product is. So, yes, ebooks, masterclasses, webinars, conferences, events, yeah, and courses.
Okay.
And
Okay.
today they have
Anything like you
metamorphosed
said,
into NFTs and all of those things.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know if I want to understand those NFTs but please take a stab at explaining what NFTs are because what's it non-fungible something?
Tokens. Yes, tokens. Tokens.
What are NFTs?
There are things that you create and you sell using you sell. So let me just exemplify it. So you have like an artwork. You have an artwork. As a creator, you get the rights for the artwork,
Mhm.
and then you go on this NFTs platform, and then you sell. The important thing is that you have the right on that thing. There's this guy who he's an artist. He used to draw. He draws. He does paintings. And then he took a picture, put it online. And it's crazy the things that they sell these days. Crazy the things they sell. Crazy. You see stuff that you cannot touch, and people are buying it for billions of naira,
Mm.
millions of naira. So, but that's because the people that are buying it understand what the space is like. So there's stuff that you engage in that are not seen, but they are valuable in the creator economy. And you buy them using
Okay.
cryptocurrency,
Le-
Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all those things.
Okay, so let me give you an example. My sister
Okay.
Nkechi, she's an artist, she's incredible artist, right? And she
Yeah.
puts her stuff online as an NFT, and I buy it. But I buy it, it's still in the digital form, right?
Mm-hmm.
I buy the
It's so
cryptocurrency.
there is so first of all, if you're an artist and you put it on a Facebook, that's not NFT.
No, 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 on the proper platform. On the proper platform, yes.
The network is cracking.
It's crackling. And they're really clear.
Yes.
Uh, Guy, can you hear me?
Um,
It's
can you hear me?
the sky is changing. I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm not sure
I can
why.
hear
I'm
you.
trying to
Guys,
see
please,
what's going on.
can someone let me know if you can hear?
Oh dear.
I can hear you very
I
clearly.
don't know what is. Okay, I think he's back. Okay, yeah, it's back. It's better. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So I heard you. You said you were hearing me
Okay.
clearly, but it was crackling. So you were asking about the
Yes.
NFT question. You're
Yes.
talking about your sister.
So my sister Nkechi does an amazing painting and puts it on the appropriate
Mm-hmm.
platform, and
Yes.
I buy it, but I cannot own it. I don't have the tangible thing. I just have the virtual thing. She still has the tangible thing.
Yes. 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 So it's like imagine. Okay, so
And
imagine that you're buying a digital artwork on the internet at a price,
mm,
and then you get a unique token that proves your authority over that artwork you bought. Do you understand it now? There's a token that you get
but
that
I
proves
still don't
that.
have it.
Yes, but but that token is what says to all of us who buy on NFT, who do NFT transactions, that you have the authority over this thing.
Okay, so I'm going to move away from this NFT thing very, very shortly, but I want to ask one last question.
Okay.
Is it possible that
Mm-hmm.
because I've bought this thing on NFT and I have the authority or yeah over it, I have ownership over it. Is it also possible that I can physically own it, or maybe I just
For
resell
now,
in that space?
resell, yes, resell. You might be able to resell, but physically, uh-uh. It's like saying the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. You want to get it physically. It's a digital asset. It does not come out of that space. And then
Okay,
somebody
who else
cannot
is
forge
as
it, they
confused
can't
as me?
manipulate it. Okay, so 100% is a digital asset. And you get an authentic certificate that says this is yours. That's what it is.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like it's like you, it's
So
like when
I
you
guess
do
the thing would
something.
be like no, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, okay, it's like when you say, so barcodes. Yeah, barcodes, for example. There's a way that they are encrypted. So it's like you buy something, there's a unique barcode for you. Nobody else can manipulate that barcode. It is yours. That's what it's like. It can't be forged, it can't be manipulated, it is yours. So that's what it is like.
Okay, all right. I accept it. I don't understand it, but I accept it.
Ah, oh God.
Nkechi, we have to talk about NFTs. Nkechi, we have to talk about NFTs. You know. So Adesewa, one of the things you say you do is that you work to deliver a purposeful, productive, and profitable system of operations for people and organizations through the media.
Mhm.
I believe that's digital media at this point.
Yes, yes.
So somebody wants to engage with you. My question is, why would I engage with you?
Mm,
That's my
why
first
will you
question.
engage
Why?
with
And then how?
me?
Yeah.
So first of all, if you think that I can deliver
I'm
for
asking
you
you,
where you're
do you
going
tell your
to.
own story? How do we know
Oh
your
yes, I do.
story? Do you tell, let me tell you, you do. One thing I've discovered
Okay,
about
so
growing businesses is that we don't talk
okay.
about ourselves.
Hmm.
We don't talk about ourselves. We don't talk about what we can do. We don't
Hmm.
market ourselves so much. We are busy marketing other people that we forget to market ourselves. So how would
Hmm.
I find you in the first place?
So first of all, that's sometimes a personality issue. It's a personality issue more than it is a business issue. But really, if you're, I don't. Okay, so I'm trying to think, because now that you said, do we tell our stories? I'm trying to think. Okay, do I tell my story? Because I'm actually a very background person. I'd rather help you do it, push you to do it, and you do it, and people see that it is done, and then they come to meet you and say, "Oh, how did you do it?" And you say, "Oh, she helped me to do it." Right? But honestly, if you're, I have found that from the time that I have worked, I have found that I have a multiplier effect. So, and even though it wasn't something that I used to consider, I mean, it's part of why sometimes when they say to me, "Oh, you're a marketer," I say, "I'm not a marketer," and I still said, "I am not a marketer. I'm still learning marketing." Marketing is not even something that I like having conversations about. So, but I have found that I have this multiplying effect once I understand what you're trying to achieve. This is knowledge product now. This is not physical. I'm not selling cream that helps you to multiply anything. So it is 100% knowledge product. I have found that once I help you to, once I understand what you're doing, and we can create frameworks, structures, systems, it will deliver to you. But that's because I also came to a place where I realized, I reflected, and I realized that I had, I show up, right? I show up doing my work, but I did not have a tangible, there was, I couldn't place my hand on how I was productive with how I was showing up. I'll give you an example. So, digital space, you're a business owner. You wake up, you post 5 times a day, 10 times a day, 6 times a day, 3 times a week. You basically just show up online, but you don't have a system. You've not seen how you're actually producing. And this actually causes burnout, because when you suddenly realize that, oh, I'm always showing up online, but there's nothing tangible that I'm holding to it. I mean, when a physical business or a physical product, when they put their product in the market, the end goal is that it brings in money for them. That's the end goal with the physical product.
Mhm.
So I know you're asking me a question, but I came to a point, and it was not even a money thing. It was a, how can I how can I measure my productivity even though I am selling or I am teaching knowledge stuff, experiential stuff, experimental stuff? How can I measure? And so it was from that point that I started to create systems. I'm like, no, if I'm not going to show up and if you check my personal Instagram page this year, I have not shown up maybe how many times? I don't even know. But I came to a point where I realized that I am not this, I can't measure it. I can't measure it. Showing up in the digital space does not mean that you're productive. That's the truth. Being there does not mean you're productive. So you can be there 365 days a year. What do you have to show that you are producing? And so basically, what's my story? That's my story. I came to a point where I realized that I need to be able to measure. So the Bible says that you will bear fruit. I needed to come to that point where and when you're bearing fruit, fruits are physical. You can see fruits. There's nothing like digital fruits. Even the fruit of the spirit manifests physically. The people that are engaging with you will know. You don't need to tell them that, oh, now I can love you. Oh, now I have joy. Oh, now I can suffer for long. No, it shows. Fruits always, always, always show. And so I came to that point where I like, no, I have to be able to measure this thing. If the Bible says it, it's measurable. And so I took a step back and then I began, to create a step-by-step process. And, from then we've been able to work with people and replicate this process so that they too can come into profitability. Because the one day in 2008 that I had an encounter with God and he said to me, you are not bearing fruit. That day I wanted to die. I was like, but I'm working. And that was the first time I ever heard it. I said, but I'm working, I'm doing stuff. I'm praying. You know, I'm even with, because then I was in school. I was like, even in my academics, I'm okay. And he says, no, you're not bearing fruits. And at that point, even though now I understand it better, I didn't even understand it as much as I do now. And I don't even think I understand it 100. But I realized that there has to be something to show. And there is a manifestation of every fruit that is produced. And that's why even when you create digital products, you have to know, you have to be able to articulate what thing is your expected or target audience coming into, who were they, and what is the product bringing them into. You need to articulate. If you cannot articulate it, it's hard to sell or it's hard to serve. It's hard. So I think I said plenty things, but yes, my story is inside.
It's inside there somewhere. It's inside. But the biggest thing I get, and it's something that we kind of, Emily and I spoke about last week, is that at a certain point, your customers whom you serve well become, they tell your story.
Yeah.
So the word of mouth effect, it works both ways. The people you
Mm-hmm.
do well with, they
Mm-hmm.
give you good reviews and they
Mm-hmm.
recommend you. And the people you don't do so well with, they give you bad reviews. And it could be just
Yeah.
one bad apple that might spoil the bunch.
Yeah.
And it's the
Yeah.
same thing in the physical space. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same
And
thing.
please let me quickly add this. When you said, do you tell your story? The truth is that whether you're starting out or you're already in it and you're scaling or something, at every point you will need to tell your story. A lot of times we actually, and that was why I had to start thinking, do I tell my story? Do I tell my story? Because sometimes we actually rely on others to tell the story for us. And if you're consistently growing in business, if you're consistently growing personally, you're actually developing. And as you're developing, you're maturing. And as you're maturing, you are transforming. And as you're transforming, there are things that you could not do before that you can begin to do, or you have the authority, to begin to do. And so at these different points, even the clients that you worked with before, may not know that you can now do that thing. And so you need to come
Mhm.
out and say, yeah, a lot of times, and bring it back to Jesus. At some point, yes, I know that the context might not be the same, but at some point, because he had built a community, he now asked them, who do men say that I am? And then they say, oh, some say this, some say that, some say this, some say that. And then he says, who do you say that I am? Because they had worked with him, to some certain level, and he needed to check. And so, but the truth is, even what they said, Jesus had been saying it himself. And that's why Golden One will keep telling their story. They'll keep running ads. That's why Coca-Cola will keep running ads and keep telling their story. That's why they'll wake up, they want to do the humans of something, something. They're creatively creating content that tells what their brand stands for. So you might not see Coca-Cola on something, but at the end of it, I mean, you just see sponsored by. They are trying to say to you that this is who we are, this is what we stand for. And so at certain points, you would have to be the one. And a lot of times, we don't want to do this. We don't want to do it because I don't want to sound proud. I don't want to sound like, oh, I've arrived. I don't want to, sometimes. But the truth is, until you say it, people will not know it.
Absolutely.
So that thing where we're waiting for, even with referrals, if somebody refers somebody to you now, I still have, if okay, so somebody refers me to somebody, the person says, okay, you were referred to me, what can you help us do? I still need to sell. I still need to say, this is what I can do, because there's nothing like you saying it for yourself. And so whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on Facebook, that's why you have a bio. It is important for you to say who you are, so that when people are Googling the solution that you are, you pop up. We can't leave the work of telling our story to others. We need to embrace, and the story doesn't have to be 100, because sometimes we're waiting for a perfect story. Your perfect story is not this. It's not. I mean, just say it as it is. Yes, engage wisdom, but say it 100 as it is.
Okay. So, guys, if you want to engage with Adesewa, I've put up her IG and Facebook links up there so you can please engage with her. So, but you see, this telling story thing, I'm a storyteller. I love brands. I absolutely love brands. And I realized that with small brands, growing brands, they either don't like or they don't have the time to tell stories.
Or
So I
they
shall
don't
be coming.
believe,
Don't
or
worry,
they
I'm
don't
coming to all
believe
of.
in
I'm
themselves.
coming to all of you next year, and I shall be. That is my digital product. I shall be telling your stories. Yes, they shall be telling because people need to know. You know, people really need
Mhm,
to know. You know, so you had mentioned something about understanding your audience, and it's something that
mhm,
has recurred and resonated throughout this whole conversation about you and the digital audience. So I come in and I want to
mhm,
sell clothes, fabric, for example.
mhm.
Okay, let me use for somebody. Oh, I think we're reconnecting on IG. I don't know what happened. It kind of froze out on
Okay,
IG there.
okay, okay. I
Okay,
can see.
let's see how that goes. But let me
Okay,
ask this other question first. So let's say we are, or maybe I should ask. Let me see if we can come back in. Okay, we are back in. We are back in.
okay, okay.
Okay. Now I've forgotten what I wanted to ask you. Okay, let's say we
You said
are.
you said
I'm
you said I
selling.
was talking about audiences. Fabric,
Yes,
yes.
yes. Let's say that you're selling essential oils, which help you heal you. You know,
Okay.
good. I mean, it's good stuff. Helps you through different things, and
Yeah.
you're online. How do you start
Hmm.
selling this, and how do you show that you are, if not better, but as good as others? How do you create um, that buzz around you? How do you magnetize your customers? How do you identify them?
Okay.
Everybody's selling essential oils. What is
Hmm.
how do you differentiate yourself? That's a question. And how do you identify your customers?
Okay. So first thing is Yes, everybody's selling essential oils. What's your story? Why are you in essential oils? Why are you selling essential oils? That's the first thing. The second thing is, so yes, you've put the essential oils together. What is the ingredient? I'm trying to see how to explain it. What ingredient is the one ingredient in that essential oil that can do the work for you? That's do the work of the essential oil you say that you are selling. Now, we had this client, this skincare client, and the only thing we wanted to do for her was branding. And I asked one question. I said, "Why this? Why are you doing skincare?" She had a name. So I said, "Why this name? Tell me the story of the name." And she says, "Oh, okay, so this is what the name means. This is why I chose the name." I'm like, "Okay." So we were able to craft a brand story. If you don't have a brand story, your brand story is what differentiates you. The same way our faces are different, and even when they say there are five people that look alike in the world, the same way the five people look alike, their soul is what makes them unique. So, what's the soul of that essential oil business? What's the thing? There are many people selling fabrics, many people selling, but let me use dresses for example. Many people selling dresses, but you hear somebody say something like, "I bring out the confidence in you." I bring out you can go somewhere and be confident that you are in this attire. They are not selling the clothes, they are selling a service, they are selling a transformation. What transformation are you selling? Because sometimes, and the truth is that sometimes you read up on all the properties of the ingredients, and I mean, no offense to essential oil products, but it's great, it's awesome that you know the properties of the ingredients you're using. But after putting these properties together and making the oil, how should your client feel? What's the
Mhm.
feel that you're trying to derive? And this thing is perception. If you're able to create the perception that you deserve, or that, sorry, that your brand should deliver, and you communicate it, because 100 people can be using the same essential oil, but how you sell to those 100 people, I don't know if you can hear me. It's looking like it's frozen. Can you hear me?
I can
Okay.
hear you.
Yes, you're back.
I can hear you.
Okay. The same 100 people might be getting different results. Example, I sell essential oil. My family members buy, and then a client that really, really, really needs this oil. Maybe they have like a skin patch, maybe somewhere or something, and they use the oil, and then that thing goes. Do you know that when we sell to family members and friends, most time they'll come back and tell you that they did not see any difference in what they bought from you because you sold
Mhm.
it to a family and friend. You did not sell transformation to them. What transformation is your product? And that's why when and I'm trying to use the big brands as an example so that we can learn from them. When a Goldemon is doing an ad, they don't sell Goldemon to you. Oh, buy Goldemon. They tell you, okay. In fact, I listened to a big beverage. I listened to a beverage ad this morning while I was coming, and they said, don't just wake up your child, wake up the champion in them. They are selling transformation to you. They are not selling the product. What you buy is transformation. And this is actually why a lot of people don't sell, because you're not able to articulate. And that's why I said you need to be able to articulate what transformation you're selling. Whether, and this is even whether you're doing digital product or you're doing what's it called, you're doing a physical product. Are you able to articulate? So Milo says, wake up the champion in you. You and I know that. You and I know that championship is not by drinking Milo, right? But they're trying to say that when you buy it, your child is more alert. In fact, they are basically trying to tell you you can now enroll your child in that sporting event. They just need to drink Milo. And then when you buy it, your child is more alert. In fact, they are basically trying to tell you you can now enroll
I
your
think you
child
popped off
in that
again.
sporting event. They just need to drink Milo.
You have to come back on. You have to come back. you're you're back on, but I can't see you yet. Okay, there you are.
Me?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can see you now. I can see you now.
okay, okay,
Yes.
okay. So,
So,
they tell you, glucose, for example, glucose. You just need to drink glucose and you can run how now? How can you run marathon? It takes a whole lot of discipline, exercise. It takes a whole lot of practice to do that. But they are selling to you a transformation. And the truth is, transformation is solution. And solution is what your client is looking for. If you're able to articulate your solution, if you're able to articulate your solution, you can sell. Sometimes we're not selling not because our product is not great. We're not selling because we're not able to articulate what transformation people are buying. People that buy from there's a particular female brand. What they buy is luxury. It's not the clothes. Tailor can sew it. What they buy is luxury. They're buying luxury. And that's why you need to identify who is your audience. Because if you're selling not clothes now, if you're selling luxury, then you know that your audience is not just anybody. You need to be able to have an
mhm.
avatar that spells out the story of your audience, right? So that's what it's basically what is the transformation that you're selling, what is the transformation you're selling, and what is the perception that you are creating to ensure that this transformation is the solution that they know that they perceive that you're looking for and that you can offer.
Fantastic, fantastic. Um, a- as you're talking now, I remember that there's some people I go to clothes. I mean, I think most of us women love clothes, but I really like her because the inside of her clothes are as neat as the
Neat.
outside. No threads, nothing dangling. If there's a pattern
Mm-hmm.
like what you and I are wearing now, the patterns are lying. She charges a
They are
little bit
detailed.
more than other people,
Mm-hmm.
very detailed. She'll charge a little bit more, but I know that when I put on that dress, I feel good because I happen to be one of those people that I don't like to cut threads out or have something the hem is. I mean,
Mm.
there's a
It's
time and place
hanging
for
somewhere.
that kind of thing. Yes, In fact, I had to send back a tracksuit that I had ordered, the top and the bottom, because the stitching was crooked. I'm
Hmm.
like, no, I'm not that person. I want if you're
Hmm.
going to position yourself as somebody up there,
Yes, then deliver.
can you deliver? Make your stitching good. Make your
Yeah,
stitching good.
yeah.
Yeah. So I sent it
I,
back. I
I
said,
know,
I'm not
I
gonna
know.
buy.
For some people, what they're selling is comfort. They're selling comfort. So you're buying comfort. You're not buying loafers. You're buying comfort. You wear it and you're like,
True.
it's so soft on the inside. You really need to
Yeah.
identify because there's so many great products from small business owners that have not made it out there because we're not able to articulate what the people we're feelers, and until you can touch people
Yeah.
from that point, you may not be able to get them to trust you enough to exchange money for what it is that you're selling.
So whether you're selling um, accessories, you're selling essential oils, you're selling. I'm looking at my guests online. You're selling legal services. You're selling your knowledge. You're selling artwork. Please identify what the essence about you. What is your story? Why should I buy from you? What is the perception? What is the transformation? Um,
Mm.
Nkechi mentioned something about what the value add. She said they used to add um, chocolates to any item they get
Chocolate.
from there. But with paintings, she gives,
Mhm.
I guess that's with NFTs, she gives them smaller prints as
Smaller
extra.
prints as extra.
Yes.
So somebody, and that's a marketing mentality. When people think that they are cheating you when they buy from you, they actually buy more. So they come and they say, "Well, I get two for one. I get two for." In their mind, they are cheating you, but you know what you're doing, right? And it's just how we create offers and just make sure that there's always our doors are continually open for people to come in and do business with us.
Okay, so
You can't be doing
Adesewa, we've
business and
gotten
I'm
to.
eating the same fish.
No, you can't. You can't. We've come to the end of the hour, but I'd like you to just tell us about how to transform this digital, how to monetize them. How do we do? And then
Okay.
let's say I need to. What I do is sell my knowledge for a living, provide a
Mm-hmm.
service,
Mm-hmm.
you know, provide a service to people and offer them value in that way.
Mm-hmm.
How would I, with all I do, package this? I'm not asking you for free things, but just the process in case
No,
there are
I
people who
understand.
want to know the process. Okay. So I come to you now that you've been on unplugged. I come to you on your IG. I DM you. How do we take it from there?
Mm-hmm. First question is, what do you do? And of course, then you share what you do. Then I ask you the most important question in creating any digital product: do you have a framework? If you have a framework, you cannot create out of a vacuum, because sometimes you know what you're doing, like you really, really, really know what you're doing. But a framework is the structure that you have put in place that no matter what you're creating, no matter what you're creating, whether you're creating, whether you're writing a book, whether you're doing a course, whether it's a master class, it's the step by step journey that your client will take, which is your unique process that your client will take, that will take them to the end to end till they get that transformation that your work delivers. So whether, in fact, whether it's an Instagram live session, you still have that framework. It hems you in. So it shows, it doesn't limit you. It doesn't limit you at all in creating anything. You can create anything with it. But between whatever it is that you're creating, what is the process that you will take your client through? What are the markers? What are the markers in your business that deliver
Mm,
solution to your clients? And they must engage to be able to get to the point that is your own profit, which is the result you're looking for when they engage whatever it is that you. So for example, a I'm trying to think of uh, maybe a Dr. John Maxwell, for example. He does leadership. He sells leadership. His framework is leadership. His framework is value, service. So there are certain things you will consistently hear him say. And no matter the level at which you hear what he says, whether it's a very small book, no matter the level, he would mention, he may not verbatim mention those frameworks, but that the book has covered the 5 frameworks, 4 frameworks, 3 frameworks, 10 frameworks, and it can deliver to you at your level. Before you create anything at
mm,
all, you need to have a framework. You need to have a framework, because that framework is going to help you write a book, solid book. That framework is going to help you to build a solid course. No matter if you're creating 10 courses, that framework is what will help you, even when you are scaling. It is that framework. You always have to go back to it, because I mean, as we grow, we hear many things, and sometimes you want to pull this here, pull this here. If it's not part of your framework, if you've not tested, if that does not work for you, you can't attach it. So your
mm,
framework is what has worked for you, that has now become pillars that help you to create anything that you are creating. Once you have your framework, then of course we want to know your audience. You have to tell who is your audience. What do they look like? Where do they live? What do they wear? Do they have children? You need to have that. Once you have that, you are now able to say, okay, if I know my audience, I have my framework. What product is suitable for this audience? That's when we can now start thinking, okay, this is what I want to create. I want to create a course, maybe a self-paced course. I want to create a this. At that point, you are now the end. Creating the digital products is not really where the work is. Yes, it's work, but that's not where the work is. Truthfully, the work is in you first doing the work. The work is in you first doing the work, and um, breaking down the pillars, knowing, because if you don't do that, you become confused. Even
mm,
when you're writing a book, you become confused.
mm,
Even if it's a course, you become confused, because you're like, it will look like there are this many things I can do. And it's good to like really know that you can do this many things, but your framework is what actually gives you, it helps you to see me dancing, trying to explain. It helps you to
It
it
helps you
keeps
zoom in
laser focus so that you're not, and then you're
all over
even
the
able
place.
to manage your energy. You're able to measure your productivity. You're able to understand what your market needs, and then you are so, because sometimes you want to create 10 products at the same time. No, you know what your market needs at every point in time, and you are scaling, little by little. You're scaling little by little. You're introducing a product when you know that, oh, I now have this audience. You do, but everything is within your framework.
Fantastic. I think there's no one in this digital you and your digital universe that I'm not going to talk to afterwards. I'm just going to sit down with everything and just and see. Yeah. Antonia asked, is the framework the same as the objectives or goals?
No, 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 no. No, your framework is okay. Um, the goal of somebody who wants to be a landlord, for example, the goal is to build a house, right? But to build a house, you need bricks. If you're building a one-story building, for example, you need bricks, you need pillars. Your framework is the pillar. In fact, your architect helps you to design this thing, helps you to design to the framework. Because some of us, when they start building, that's when we remember that, in my father's house, there were only 3 rooms. I don't want 3 rooms in my own, it's 6. But by the time the architect has helped you to build what he wants to be to build, and they've already cast foundation and done everything, you have to rethink before you can do it. So basically, your framework is the pillar on which everything that you do stands. So it's not the goal. Your
So
goal is
essentially,
the
we can.
end, what you want to see. Your goal is the end. Oh, okay, so this is what I want to achieve. This is how, okay, so I now break it down. I wake up 5 times a day to post 3 times a day. That's not your framework. Your framework is a bigger picture. Is a bigger picture, and it cuts across whatever thing that you're trying to do, you're trying to create.
So would it be right to say that you actually provide the digital architecture?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like that English.
Fantastic. I can borrow it to you.
Ah,
Adesha, thank you so much. Thank you
thank you
so
so much.
much.
It's
I
been my
mean,
pleasure.
since we started this digital thing theme for September, there has
Mm.
been not one session where we ended right
On
at
time.
12 o'clock because everybody is so keen to know what can we do, what can we
Mm.
do, and I know you and I have engaged before, and then I disengaged not because I didn't need you, but I
No, no,
needed to
of course
get
not.
some things
I know, I know,
focused.
I know.
Yeah, I needed to get some things focused. So I'm coming back. Emily, I'm coming back. Everybody, I am coming back for sure because
No
without
problem, sir.
without this platform, what are we going to do? Without
Right.
understanding this, yes, what are we going to do? You know. So thank you everybody who came. Thank you everybody on Instagram. Thank you everyone on Facebook who joined us and who engaged with us and asked questions. If you have more questions, let me just put her Adesewa's yeah, there you go. You can reach her there. Yeah, you can reach her there on Instagram and on Facebook, and she will answer. She's extremely efficient for sure. She's extremely efficient, you know. Yeah. So okay, did we have another comment? Okay. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Jen, for coming. I I guess you also work for since you work for churches, you also work with non-for-profits as well,
Yeah,
you
so
know.
it's faith-based ventures,
Okay.
non-profits, churches, pastors, ministry leaders. Yes, para-church ministers. Yes.
Okay. But you also work with those of us who have our ministry in the marketplace.
Ministry is service now. You're serving with business. That one is not a problem. Ministry is service.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. From next week, October and November, we are going to be celebrating Very Well Made in Nigeria. It is my country's 62nd birthday. I don't care what you think. I love my country. I'm still here. And so are you,
Abi.
for some of you. Yes. So we shall be celebrating Very Well Made in Nigeria. And it's not that the people we're talking to are not very well made in Nigeria, but we just have a second session. We have themes, and that's going to be a theme. Last year we tried
Mm.
to do it for 1 year, but there's so many people who are doing stuff that we didn't even know about.
Wow.
You
Wow.
know, yes, yes. So we're going to be celebrating it. So please come in your green, a spot of green, if you can, and
Yeah.
holler at us if you know somebody who's doing some great stuff anywhere in Nigeria or a
Mm.
Nigerian outside the country that you you think we can great stuff, value laden stuff,
Mm.
and we will be pleased to talk to them. We have 8 Thursdays between October and November. So we are going to be talking to
Mm.
8 more great people in addition to these wonderful people that we've spoken to. Thank you very much, Adesewa. I'm really
Thank you so
grateful.
much,
I'm
man.
really
Really
grateful
grateful.
to all of you. Grateful to all of you. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye on Instagram
Bye.
and bye on Facebook.